Okay, we're at London 2017, the tattoo convention, with Stuart Robertson. How are you, Stuart? All
I'm
right?
good, thanks.
Can you tell me how you got into tattooing? What first brought you into the game?
I saw tattoos on family members when I was a kid and instantly thought they were the coolest thing. A lot of like heavy metal musicians had them, and I was listening to that when I was growing up. And I started tattooing just by tattooing myself.
Yeah, what year was that?
I did my first tattoo in early 2004, so not that long ago. I guess what's that? Nearly 14 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that long. It's kind of short, but.
And even in the 14 years, how does conventions compare to this one today? I mean,
they're bigger than they ever were.
Yeah.
They're more of an extravaganza these days.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people, a lot more tattooers. It used to be that most of the tattooers would know each other. Mm-hmm. Even before I was a tattooer, I could see that was the case. And now it's bigger than just one group of people, and there's like little cliques around, and there's like guys that do this style or guys that do that style.
And you once worked at the world famous Thrift Street Tattoo.
I did, with Dante De Masi.
But you got your new shop now?
Yeah, I opened my own place with my wife Valerie in Fulham, in southwest London. And we've had it open nearly three years. 3 years next month.
Good foot traffic, or is it strictly by appointment? Or?
A bit of both, but we do walk-ins when we can. We got guys we got Danny Morby and Will Dozer who do walk-ins with us and their own appointments. We do our appointments and
how
like
do you work yourself?
Shop.
Do you work by appointment or do you take walk-ins?
I work by appointment, but if I've got time, I'll do a walk-in. And I do kind of a bunch of different styles. If people want something that I'm capable of, I'm happy to do it.
Is there anything in particular you like doing?
I kind of focus on Japanese.
Yeah.
Like bodysuits, really.
And anything you don't like?
Don't like.
Well,
bad tattoos.
Prefer not to do.
I do.
You know.
I'm not so good at doing cute things. Just because my wife's so good at it.
Yeah.
I can do beautiful things or pretty things, but I can't do cute things so well. I've tried and it just doesn't work out.
And Fulham's going to be for a good while. Is good traffic?
Yeah, we got a 10-year lease, so we're there for at least another 7 or 8 years. Yeah.
Anyway, well, thanks very much, Stuart. And
thank you very much.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm here today with Jimmy Whitlock from Florida, Tampa, and he's got what I believe one of the biggest museums in the world, tattooing museums. Is that true, Jim?
I would say, as far as I know, at this point, yes. We've got about 60 to 70,000 items on display for anybody to come see at any time.
Yeah, and what got you into collecting or?
I've been around the industry since I was 17, so I've been around it my whole life, and I've always been fascinated with it and always loved it, and I always cared so much about the history.
And can you remember what the first thing you got for the museum?
I think the very first thing I got was a sheet of Jerry Flash from Rolla.
Oh, right.
Yes, Rolla was a good friend of mine, so obviously I got a lot of stuff from him, and that really got me into collecting.
And you're still collecting now?
Absolutely. It's getting a little bit more difficult to collect now because there's so many people doing it.
Yeah.
But absolutely, yes, always looking.
Yeah, and you're at the London show now, 2017. How's it going for you?
It's going very well. Happy to be here. Always happy to come to London, and just moving along.
Hello, I'm here with Miki Vialetto, who puts on possibly one of the best shows in the world, the London Tattoo Convention, and it's 2017. Hello, Miki, how's things?
Hi, Paul, how's it going?
All right, mate. Can you just tell me how it all come about for you? How did you first get involved in the tattooing scene and the magazine scene?
Well, actually, everything started in '93. I was a very big tattoo fan, and I always wanted to be part of the tattoo world.
Yeah.
I was not able to draw, So I knew that if I was going to be a tattooer, I could be just a mediocre tattooer. Never wanted to be mediocre in my life.
No.
This is why I chose and I invented a way to help the tattoo world. This is why in '93 I did the first European tattoo magazine. At the time it was called a Tattoo Review. And I did it for 8 years after I opened up my own publishing company with Tattoo Life and Tattoo Energy. And my goal was always to spread the tattoo culture.
Yeah,
this is why I start, first of all, to make tattoo books. And it was, before me, were only Ed Hardy that did some books about tattoo flesh. At the time, tattooers were just selling a spreadsheet and that's it. So I was the first one that tried to do tattoo art books to try to show that tattooing was an art form, not only on skin, but also on paper and on canvas. And then the second step was to organize a cultural event. This is why I started in 2004 to do the London Tattoo Convention.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful show. Thousands of people. How is this year's show any different to any other? Is there more people this year, or is it?
I think yes. This year I never care about how many people come till the last day. During the convention I'm just concentrate that everything is work fine. So I don't know if there were more people or less people compared to last year, but it seemed a little bit busier than last year.
But it's still difficult to get down some of the alleyways, isn't it, with the tattooists? I mean, there's lots of people looking at everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, even for tattoo artists to come inside here is very difficult. I have this year my waiting list reached over 1,200 artists from all over the world.
And how many are at the show itself?
410.
400. So there's over half again want to come. Yeah. And can you tell me a little bit about the magazine? How many magazines have you actually got out now?
Now I have 2 tattoo magazines, that is Tattoo Life and Tattoo Energy.
Yeah.
Then in every country I do an yearbook.
Right,
I do the yearbook in England, that is going great. Then I have one in France, in Spain, in Germany and in Italy.
Yeah, so if you look up on your line, have you got a website address for people?
Yes, it's www.tattoolife.com, and it's not just a website. Since 3 months, I start the Tattoo Life blog, where we try to put everyday article about culture of tattooing, different aspect about tattooing, so I invite everybody to go and check it out.
All right, thanks Mickey, and everyone's having a great time, and it's going to continue for a few more years, I should think.
Thank you very much, Paul. Always a great pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. It's Sunday and I'm at the last day of the London Tattoo Convention 2017, and I'm with a good friend of mine, Mike Irving. And hello Mike, I just want to ask you a little bit about a great friend of ours, Mr. Ron Ackers.
Well, I think everybody who's been tattooing a while knew of Ron.
Well, I remember the story when I first came to your shop. It must have been in the 80s, and Ron ran out and sat in the car, and I couldn't understand why he was sitting in the car, but you know more about it.
Ron and you came over, had been introduced, told by Stan Davis to come over because he thought he'd be able to sell me a few machines. Ron came in the shop with you and showed me this case of machines, and I was tattooing a guy's back. And I just happened to say to Ron, you'll never get what this guy is, he's a tax inspector.
No.
And Ron looked horrified, put all the machines into the case, went and sat in the car, and I think he'd sent you out to check.
Yeah, but
this guy had gone.
I couldn't understand why you come running back out to the car, and he said, go in and see if that guy's gone. I thought, what's happening? Is he a gangster or something? You know, and now I know the story, but I mean, funny things like that was going on all the time, weren't it?
Oh, with Ron, I mean, Ron would have been absolutely devastated if he thought he'd sold a machine in front of a tax inspector. I mean, the guy was good as gold anyway, but the minute he'd walked out, Ron came back over and sold me a couple of machines. It broke within the first week, as Ron's things did.
And you got the story. It's a bit sad, but it's a bit funny, but it sells Ron's character about Stan Davis's funeral, doesn't it? You know?
It sums Ron up perfectly. It was just after we'd had the funeral service and we were all stood outside the church chatting, and Ron went over to, I can't even think who it was. It may have even been Bob, and he started showing him this machine that he built up. And I said to Ron, I said, look, you can't do that here. And I took the machine off him, and Ron put my hand around like that, and he put it in my pocket. And I thought nothing of it. And we went back to the wake, and there was a bit of a dispute there with Ron and Snakey over a machine that
Snakey wanted to fight him, didn't he?
Ron said he'd owned, yeah, and I said, what's Snakey doing? I'd only met Snakey that day, and he was stripped off, he had his vest on, and Bob's wife Jan said he usually does that when he's going to hit someone.
Yeah.
So of course Ron had a funny turn, and I'd driven to Bob's to pick Bob up from Swindon to Oxford. Bob said, you can't let Ron go back on the train. We've got the train up there. He's in hell of a state. So I drove back to Bob's in Oxford with Ron and Bob and dropped Ron off. Ron was playing the martyr all the time. He was ill. He was, he kept feeling sick. Dropped him off. Then we left Oxford, and he perked up. He said, I'd quite like fish and chips now. I'd feel a bit better if I had that. So I found a fish and chip shop for him and had that and bolted it down. Didn't look ill at all. And he got in the car, and we had about another 10 minutes. He said, an ice cream will go down well now. So we pulled off, and I bought him an ice cream, and he was there. I don't know if you ever seen Ron eat ice cream. It was in his hair and everything. All his
same as Chinese food, yeah.
Yeah, and he was there, and he was with his elbow scrubbing the ice cream off. Probably turned the shirt inside out when he got home.
Yeah.
And went back to Ron's house. I helped him back up the stairs because the lift wasn't working. And sat in his little office and had a cup of tea with him. And he said, this is for you, for the journey of your fuel. And he had a rinse cup on the side, and he had a round shader tube in there, and he pulled it out, and he shook the water off, and he dried it with a tissue, and he gave me this round shader tube.
One tube, yeah.
One used tube, which was a nice gesture by him and that. And I said, thanks for that, Ron. I got it to go, and he said, 75 quid for that machine as well in your pocket. I'd completely forgot about the machine in there. Yeah. But no, because that machine had gone in my pocket.
I know he was a boy and like selling machines at people's funerals. He didn't care, did he? You know.
No, he'd Ron had.
But I mean, that was Ron.
He was a character. That's why everybody liked Ron.
Yeah.
We went down before to his flat with Bob, and we bought a couple of machines each. And as we were going, we went to say goodbye to Ron's wife. And she said to Bob's wife, did they have any machines off yet? She said, yeah, Mike had one and Bob had one. And we heard the door slam. And we looked, and Ron's wheelchair's empty. I mean, if you could have done that Lou and Andy sketch, it was Ron. And the door slammed, and we looked, Ron's nowhere to be seen. And we go out, and Ron's legged it down the corridor to get in the lift, because his missus would have asked for that 100 quid or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a few stories like that with Ron on planes and that.
Oh, we've heard the story about the wheelchair, when he was pushed along in a wheelchair when he was late for a plane. You heard of that one?
A couple of times that's happened. He sort of jumped up and ran off and
ordered a gin and tonic.
Yeah, things like that. But that was Ron. He had a character about him you wanted to know, even though you knew he was ripping you off or selling you things when you didn't want them.
Yeah, the wood from the Mary Rose, that was another good one. I think
he was at a convention in America, and he was telling them that this wooden machine was the wood from the Victory this time. And I said to the Americans, and the coils are from the SS Enterprise, Star Trek. And he was laughing because he'd tell anyone anything to sell something, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, definitely. With his book as well.
Yeah.
I mean, his book. Me and Bob both had books the same day. I've got the book from Ron to Bob as well.
Yeah.
They're both signed to Bob, to Mike, your old tattooing pal Ron Eckers.
Yeah.
We got them books. 2 days later, we got a phone call from Ron. That money for the book.
Yeah.
So, want a gift then? I said, no. Tell you what though, I don't want you to post it. I want you to bring it down. Tell Bob to come and bring his money as well. Just so we got a visit then, and he probably sold us another machine or some anodised grips at the anodising come off in the autoclave.
But someone could write a great book about Ron and just talk to people who's ripped off, and that it would be wonderful to read, wouldn't it?
You see the things like Burchett's memoirs and that, which is a fascinating book to read, but there's not the humour there would in a book about Ron.
You can't do that, sell them for that much. He used to say to me, they're tattooists, they can afford it. That's all he used to say to me.